Know you very well at this point. I wasn't sure just where to aim my presentation, and I apologize in advance if it's too basic for most of you. I'm sure that it's not going to be too complex for any of you. So just bear with me. What I will present this morning is a brief discussion of general issues as to why glucose and insulin are potentially important in the context of aging and calorie restriction. In that context, there will be some discussion of the basics of carbohydrate metabolism, which may be very familiar to all of you, and increase in blood glucose levels, which then circulate throughout the body in the blood, and the glucose is then taken up to be utilized as a fuel by all the tissues in the body. And for some of the important tissues, such as muscle and adipose tissue and liver, glucose uptake is greatly facilitated by the presence of insulin. For another very important organ, the brain, insulin is not required, and the brain uses quite a bit of glucose as its primary fuel, and really accounts for a large portion of glucose disposal under normal circumstances. The alternative fuel for the brain is ketones. Uptake of glucose by muscle and adipose tissue cells primarily. It also promotes the uptake of amino acids into muscle cells and promotes the uptake of free fatty acids from the blood into adipose tissue cells. It inhibits the formation of ketone bodies by the liver and promotes the formation of glycogen, the storage form of glucose, in the liver. Now, the way insulin works is very simple, and you can see it all on this slide. Greg Carty will explain this in more detail in his presentation tomorrow. Now, all too often in our culture, things go wrong and an individual's blood glucose becomes chronically elevated. And this has myriad deleterious effects for the individual.